that this man is sick, he needs fresh meat. And you have a chicken, right? You have a chicken. Can I slaughter the chicken on Shabbos? Of course. Can I cook it on Shabbos? You're saving his life. So a person who slaughters an animal on Shabbos for a sick person that is in danger, his life is in danger, it is permissible for a healthy person to eat this meat raw. Right, what did he do? He shechted a chicken. It was a nice big chicken. He shechted it for grandpa. The doctor comes and he says, this man needs chicken, fresh chicken. You have any? No, I see a chicken running around. Anybody know how to slaughter? I do, but it's Shabbos. You can certainly shecht. 100%. All right, so I gave grandpa the chicken. I cooked it. I gave it to him. Grandpa says, all I want is just the leg, a polki. I give it to him and he already feels better. He takes a couple of bites from this cooked chicken and he feels okay. So it says, what about the rest of the chicken? You have to wait for Shabbos to leave. It says, no. A healthy person can eat this slaughtered chicken, but uncooked. Or below malichan, without salting.
Even the guy who slaughtered it?
Yes. Healthy person.
Well, no, a healthy person could be another person in the house.
Yeah, that's right. Anybody. Mutar labari, it is permissible for a healthy person to eat it. You can yell out the window, anybody want to eat some raw chicken? Right? Someone says, oh, I do. Oh man, I don't believe raw chicken. I was just thinking about that. Whew, this is an answer from God. Where's the chicken? First of all, are you allowed to eat raw chicken that hasn't been salted? It's got blood inside of it. Is that permissible to eat?
I would suppose not.
That's what a lot of people would suppose. But if you learn the Shulchan Aruch, Siman Yud Dal and Yuradea, Siman Sanach Zayin, it says that is 100% permissible. You just have to wash the meat out on the outside. There's no surface blood. Surface blood is forbidden, but the blood that has not come out of the meat is officially permissible. There's some cases when not, but generally yes. So therefore you are allowed to eat raw, bloody, uncooked meat. You just have to wash off the surface. So no blood has come out, but blood that is in the meat, you can eat it. The time when you have to salt meat is if you want to boil it. Because when you boil meat, if it's not salted, the blood comes out, makes the water forbidden, and that makes the meat forbidden. But you can't salt it because it's forbidden to salt on Shabbos, like it's explained in another place. Even if this sick person got sick in the daytime on Friday, and yesterday, on the Friday, and you didn't have in your mind that all of you were going to slaughter this chicken today, nevertheless, the chicken is not muktzah. You might think, good, if I was thinking about the chicken yesterday, then maybe it's not so muktzah. No, you're not thinking about the chicken. You had your mind not on it at all to eat it. Nevertheless, it is not muktzah. Why? Because you're saving someone's life with it. And not only that, oh, so why can't I eat it? So it says muktzah is just something that is not from heaven. Shin Yud. It has to be something that you did. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about this. Aval, but there's a note. No. Aval, but a mavashal, a person who cooks or does other things for the sake of a sick person that's in danger. If you boil, let's say you boil the whole chicken, then it's forbidden in Shabbos for any healthy person or even a sick person that's not that sick, his life is not in danger. He cannot eat from this chicken. Why not? Because it's been cooked. So what? Gezerah, there's a decree, Shema Yarbe b'malachto, that if you allow him to eat from a chicken, then maybe Next time he shechs for grandpa, he'll shech a sheep. He'll shech something big. There'll be more boiling involved. Because maybe you'll cut more. Maybe you'll shech 2 chickens next time. Masha Einkin, which is not the case with just slaughtering. It's impossible for a person to add on for a healthy person. Why? Because what is this person needs? He needs a piece of fresh chicken meat, right? You can't just take a little piece of meat off of a living chicken. It's impossible to take a little bit of meat for a sick person unless you shech the whole entire animal. So you got to shech the whole thing. Even if you do it by means of a goy, even if you do it by means of a non-Jew for the sake of a sick person, as sakana. Okay, so let's do it like this. Listen, what's going on over here? Grandpa is sick. The doctor says he needs to eat chicken. Right? Here's a chicken running around in my house. I have a kosher knife. Now, to shech the chicken is forbidden from the Torah on Shabbos. You can't do it. It's forbidden from the Torah. But because I'm saving somebody's life, therefore it's totally permissible. So I got a better answer. I got a better solution. Listen, why commit a sin from the Torah? Why, you say, erase a sin from the Torah? Slaughtering. Say it's okay to slaughter because this man is sick. So therefore I can slaughter. So what does it mean? It means that you're essentially transgressing a sin from the Torah, but it's not considered to be a sin because you're doing it for somebody's health. Well, I have a better idea. Why don't you get a non-Jew to kill the chicken? The non-Jew can kill the chicken, right? Then the chicken is treif. It's not a kosher chicken, but first of all, you get a benefit from that. Number one, you didn't do a sin. I didn't do a sin, right? I didn't slaughter the chicken. This non-Jew slaughtered the chicken. So if so, no sin has been done in the slaughtering. But you got a problem. The chicken is now nevela. It's not kosher. Says, okay, but grandpa is allowed to eat not kosher things. It's 100% okay for him. It's for his health. So I got a better answer. Instead of getting a Jewish person to slaughter this chicken and having to ignore a sin from the Torah, shechting, so I got a better one. Let a non-Jew slaughter the chicken, and now you have to ignore the sin of nevela, also from the Torah. But if this man is that's ignoring the sin, wiping out, this is the sick man himself. So that's what he says. Even if you decide to do by means of a non-Jew, whether you're doing it for the sake of a Jew that is in danger, or whether even it's a Jew that's not in danger, because you can tell a non-Jew to do things that are forbidden on Shabbos. It's forbidden from the rabbis to do that, but from the Torah it's okay. Nevertheless, it's forbidden for a healthy person to eat it on Shabbos. Why? Gezerah, because it's a decree, maybe he will add on for it. But Motzi Shabbos, immediately Motzi Shabbos is permissible for a healthy person immediately. You don't even have to wait for the time it'll take to do. Why? Because since that this non-Jew slaughtered this chicken in a permissible way, it was totally permissible for him to slaughter for a non-Jew, for a not healthy person, I'm sorry. So then the non-Jew has done something okay. He slaughtered a chicken, and he did it for the sake of a sick person, so therefore he didn't do any sin whatsoever. Therefore, it is forbidden, though, for that any Jew to eat from this meat, because maybe you'll add on to the meat. You'll add on and cook it. The Me'adav we're talking about other things except for cooking and boiling. That if a non-Jew cooks or boils on Shabbos for the sake of a sick person, then it's forbidden for a non-Jew to eat, even on Motzi Shabbos, because of Bishul Nachrim. Like we said before, Siman Kuf Yud Gimel. So if a non-Jew fixes up your car, he fixes up your car in order that you can take, or that he can take, fixes up the car, and he does it in order that he can take grandpa to the hospital. You can't fix up a car on Shabbos, but he can. A non-Jew, there's no sin to do it. But if he cooks let's say a Jew slaughters it, let's make it a good way. A Jew slaughters the chicken, so the chicken is kosher. And then a non-Jew cooks it up. No, so it should be that a Jew should be able to eat from this cooked food. You can't say it still is never as forbidden. It's forbidden. Why? Because first of all, a non-Jew cooked it. It's forbidden because of bishul nachrim. Because a non-Jew cooked it, so it makes it forbidden. Okay, what do we learn from all this? That if you slaughter an animal, first of all, it is permissible to slaughter an animal if a person whose life is in danger, to eat it. Permissible. Number one. Number two, if you do slaughter an animal for a Jew whose life is in danger, then it's permissible for everybody to eat from this dead animal, but raw. You have to eat it raw. If you cook it, then others cannot eat it because we're worried maybe you'll come to add on, doing unnecessary work. We said, if you do this whole thing through a non-Jew, though, you slaughter the chicken and a non-Jew cooks it up, then it's another problem, is that there is bishul nachri. A non-Jew's cooking, you're not allowed to eat from. Not even Motzei Shabbos. Okay, let's do one more law. We'll see. It might be next week we'll learn the Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. What happened over? Why isn't it going?
I have a question.
Yes.
It's Shabbos.
Yes.
Saba gets sick. Why do I have to check a chicken? Don't we have other food in the house? It's Shabbos.
No, there is no chicken. There's no. A grandpa gets sick. The doctor comes and says, "Give this man a piece of fresh chicken." And your wife says, "Well, we've got beef. We have this." He says, "No, it has to be fresh chicken. It has to be fresh meat. Fresh meat. Get fresh meat and give it to him. The man's life is in danger. You have to give him fresh meat. You don't have any fresh meat." Does
that mean uncooked meat?
No. It doesn't make any difference. It has to be fresh. If the doctor says it has to be, doesn't make any difference if it's cooked or not, then everyone can eat from it.
But on Shabbos, all the food is fresh. It's prepared specially for Shabbos.
No, this has to be fresh. That's what the doctor said. It has to be shechted no more than 5 minutes ago. Okay? Or you're talking about a case where there is no meat. You're living in a vegan kosher Shabbos or vegetarian kosher Shabbos.
I mean, I'm just trying to find some practical application for this.
Nowadays, most people do not slaughter their own meat anyway, so it's not that practical. They don't slaughter their own meat. It says if you happen to be in a place and you are a slaughterer, a shochet, and they call you from the house and they say, "Excuse me, religious Jew, can you come in here? Do you know how to slaughter a chicken?" You say, "Yeah, but I'm on my way to shul. But I mean, we can talk about this Motzei Shabbos." Says, No, you don't understand. We have a grandpa, religious grandpa, and he says the only thing that will make him healthy is if he has fresh chicken meat. And we're all vegetarians. All of our food is not kosher. Make up whatever you want to. But we have a chicken, a live chicken, and we have a knife. And we love grandpa. Can you shech this chicken for us? So what do you say? Yeah, I can check. If it's the man is for sure he's dying, yeah, I can check it. Now you shech the chicken, right? And grandpa says, "Good, I'm going to boil the chicken up myself. Maybe you would like a piece of it raw before I eat it." Raw chicken. Who eats raw chicken?
Good eats.
You say, but he says, "Listen, you should know that if I start to cook it, you can't eat anything from it. You want it raw? Yeah, why can't I eat it if he starts cooking? Because if he starts cooking it, then you can't eat, because the rabbi made a decree that cooked food, if it was cooked on Shabbos, it was cooked permissibly, but you can't eat it. Why? Because maybe it'll encourage him to add a little more. You say, okay, Grandpa, I'll eat this. Maybe throw a potato in there. What do you care? You're already cooking, huh? Cook me up a potato too. Therefore, they said, if the meat is cooked, then you can't eat any from. But if it's raw, then you can just take it and wash it off and eat it, right?
Well,
you can say to Grandpa, listen.
What if we have a situation when Sabba's over and he's not feeling well, and he's got to have some fresh meat, and we have a package of frozen uncooked chicken in the freezer, which normally would be muktzah to touch.
No,
can we use that?
If it would save his life, it's not muktzah. For sure, it's not muktzah. If you can
normally would be muktzah.
Yeah, right, sure.
In which case, normally shechting a chicken on Shabbos would be muktzah.
Sure, you
except
can't. Not muktzah. It's forbidden even to touch the chicken.
Yeah, except that it's Shabbos.
Shechting a chicken is forbidden from the Torah. Muktzah is only from the rabbis.
Yeah.
But you can say, listen, Grandpa, you're offering me this chicken. I can eat it raw. I can eat it raw. And Grandpa will say, wait, I got a mashuga here.
I'm gonna eat.
What? You're out of your mind, man. What did I bring you? I hope he doesn't shecht me. A raw chicken you're going to eat? He says, yeah, why would you want to eat a raw chicken? Because it says in the Shulchan Aruch. The Shulchan Aruch says it's permissible to do. I want to try it. So if you do want to try, you can do it, but you have to wash the chicken off first and then get the blood off it.
Oh, you have to soak and salt it?
What do you have to do?
Soak and salt it.
No, you can't salt it. Forbidden to salt it.
So how do you eat it?
He roasts it. For him, listen, for him, if it'll save his life, he doesn't even have to salt it. But even if he salts it, right? As soon as he salts it, then it's forbidden for anybody else to eat.
But so that if he offers it to me and I like raw chicken, I can't eat it.
You don't have to salt it. No, that's what we said. It is permissible to eat. Let's go back to the law. Okay, let's go back to the law. I see you fellows are.
You said it's permissible to eat the unsalted chicken on Shabbos.
Listen, one who slaughters on Shabbos for a sick person who is in danger of death. It is permissible for a healthy person to eat it raw and without salting, but just washing off alone, like it's written in Yeridea Simon Samach Zayin, as the laws of blood. That's all. It's forbidden to salt on Shabbos. Good. That was called, if we remember, Te'eit Lechol B'Umtza. I'm surprised at you fellas. We just learned the laws of Hilchas Malicha. I'm taking back the smicha, that's all.
So what are you serving for Shabbos?
This is not funny. That joke is a sick joke that's in danger of death. According to that, it could be that it's permissible. Let's go. HaKot says one who cuts off a fruit from a tree that has not yet ripened, and he cuts that off for a sick person on Shabbos. Well, let's see. If I shechted a chicken, then it's okay for a healthy person to eat it. What if I plucked, right? Grandpa needs a pear. It doesn't care if it's ripe or not. Forbidden. It's forbidden for a healthy person to eat from it. Why? Because it's muktzah. Even if it, afilu chala miba'od yom, even if Grandpa got sick on Friday, and you already knew that on Shabbos he was going to want one of these unripened pears, nevertheless, it doesn't help. A healthy person can't eat it. Now let's go back to the law. What's the law? Fruits that fall off from a tree on Shabbat, you cannot eat them. Why not? Because they were muktzah. When Shabbos came in, they were attached to the tree. Because they were attached to the tree, so that's called muktzah. Okay, some people make a little bit of a distinction if the fruit was already totally ripe, so it didn't need the tree or not. So here it's taking that into account. So you have a fruit that is not completely ripe, so it still needed the tree, and you plucked this, so therefore it's muktzah, even if it falls off on Shabbos. this fruit. If it was there when Shabbos came in on the tree, it's forbidden. Because preparing doesn't help, doesn't take away muktzah from things which is joined on, which is growing on Shabbat. So in other words, Grandpa says, I want one of those apples. If the apple had not totally, if it still was dependent on the tree, it had not totally ripened, it was still dependent on the tree a little bit. If you pick it off on Shabbat, Grandpa can eat it, but you cannot. That fruit is muktzah. But if the tree already had finished ripening, and it did not need the tree anymore, and you plucked it off, so then if Grandpa was sick before Shabbos and he knew that he was going to eat one of these fruits that were on the tree, then if he plucked it off, it would be permissible for you to eat it. So in other words, if you plucked off a fruit from a tree on Shabbat, Grandpa can eat it. He's in danger of death, but no one else can eat it. But if Grandpa was sick from before Shabbos and he knew he wanted one of these fruits and the fruits had already ripened so they didn't need the tree, then if you plucked it on Shabbos for Grandpa, then even a healthy person can eat it. All right, my friends, God bless you all. See you tomorrow, 8:15 in the morning. We're going to learn a Sikha of the Rebbe.